let's talk about the metaverse a little bit. Major League Baseball announced it's investing in NFTs for the metaverse. Real Madrid say that they're building a virtual stadium. WPP, the largest advertising agency in the world, is going all in the metaverse, signed several deals with certain metaverses. Accenture just said that 150,000 of new hires are going to be spending their first day of work in the metaverse. Kraft Heinz is using the metaverse to solve its supply chain problems. They're working with Microsoft with their software to provide that technology where the manufacturing facilities, they have virtual versions of them in Kraft, and the companies, gives the company's leadership a better view into how they work and what needs improvement through virtual. Dentistry, big article talking about the metaverse, how they go into the metaverse. Again, you'll have to go to the dentist, but still just different things within the metaverse where you could see different things before you even come in and what kind of things that you want and stuff instead of going to the office 3-4 times before you get stuff done. And this past earnings season, more than 30% of the companies in S&P 500 mentioned the word metaverse in their recent conference calls. 30%. Everything I just said there, every single thing, right? All of that, just these things that I just highlighted, everything I mentioned happened over the past 7 days for the metaverse, the past 7 days. These aren't stories I'm pulling from months ago and years ago and holy shit, this is going to happen. This is just the past week. This is how big and how quick. As quick as consumer sentiment changes and you're seeing the spending habits change, is as quick as people are getting into the metaverse. The metaverse is going to be the new internet. It makes sense. It makes sense from every perspective. It's what the people want. It wasn't meant for 4 or 5 companies to own your pictures, to own your data, to kick you off sites because you have an opinion. I'm not talking about opinion where you're like, that's dangerous, where you're looking to hurt people. I'm talking about just for a political party that you vote for, that you believe in, that you state. For reporting facts on China, from people who had data on China saying, we know this virus started in a Wuhan lab and reported and got thrown off. The Biden laptop, New York Post got thrown off of social media. Now it's fact. And that goes for both sides. It doesn't matter what side you're on, but not being able to express your opinion when you're doing research because you're not on the right political side. Was that the way the internet was supposed to be? Where these guys are so rich, they're making massive donations to different parties? It's amazing. It really is amazing. The idea is to get you pissed off and angry, right? Yet, what does that mean? It means you're going to post more shit and go on social media and these guys are going to make more money. That's why they donate. They don't donate for a cause that they truly believe in. They donate for something that's going to make them filthy freaking rich through their company. That's why they're donating dollars. That's why they do this. Whatever agenda that is. Because at the end of the day, you're going to retire. You're going to be sitting home with a massive freaking nest egg and you don't give a shit about what's going on. You'll be someplace in Wyoming and Jackson Hole just hanging out with your freaking mansion while everyone, we have chaos. They don't care. Was that the internet? Is that what it was supposed to be? No, it wasn't supposed to be that. It's this amazing utility, this amazing service where people control their content through NFTs and the blockchain. It's what concerts are going to take place going forward. Yes, I love concerts. I love being there. But when you're seeing 150 million people tune into Travis Scott on Fortnite for a virtual conference, what do you think that, or virtual concert, what do you think every single person in the music industry is thinking? Holy shit. I go to these concerts. I go to a million different venues. And what is it? 50,000, 30,000, maybe 60,000, 70,000 for the big ones. Get even bigger ones overseas. But you talk about 150 million? Holy shit. Hey, that's the future. You'll be able to meet people online, real people, not bots. Every person's going to be real. Online dating or whatever. That's the way it would take place. It's not just this small idea where Facebook's like, hey, we really need to do this and change our name. It's 5th, 6th largest company in the world. Who does that? Total, like, this is our core business. We're changing our core business because here's where we're going. That's where they see social media. They're smart. They know everything about people. They're in your living room every second of the day tracking you, even though you don't know it. But they know this is what the people want. They know this is where the next generation is going. The younger generation is going. This is what they want. I mean, to have the lockdown on social media, yes, you're getting threatened by TikTok now and things like that, but still Instagram and everything else and Facebook, and really change and go into this, it just shows you with the data they have of how important this is and how much they believe in this. But it's a lot more than just Facebook, who's, again, knows more about those 3 billion customers and posts everything about their lives every minute of the day online. But Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, all investing in the metaverse because they have to. It's threatening their existence. Yes, they're still going to be here. Yes, they're big companies, but these are the companies with hundreds of billions of cash on their balance sheets. And this is where they're investing. Major retailers, this is where they're going into. See a massive amount of capital being raised by metaverse projects in the billions, which is incredible given the current market conditions. Usually you see everybody pull back. Holy shit, we're pulling back. You don't really see people investing in certain things. That's how relevant this is. That's how big this idea is. And even if it's a half-ass idea, it doesn't work. And I explain, either 500 billion. I mean, for us, if we're able to take 0.25% market share, because we're doing deals in the metaverse right now, which some subscribers are aware of through our company. I mean, you're looking at over $1 billion in sales out of 0.25% market share of a $500 billion market. And that's discounting incredibly considering we're not looking at we pulled one crazy research report and said this market's going to be $8 billion. Goldman Sachs is 8 trillion, but Goldman Sachs is going to be 12.5 trillion, right? Citigroup is 8 to 13 trillion. Jefferies in the trillions. Morgan Stanley in the trillions. And this is across the board of how big this could be. But even if they're that wrong and it turns out to be a much smaller market, the opportunity is that great. But if this market does, and it's not going to happen overnight, but if this market does happen to be that big, holy shit. Now you can see why so much capital is flowing in now, even though we're seeing a market that's, shitty as it gets. But they're investing in the right project, the right metaverse. And if you're looking, just from an individual investor standpoint, I mean, you're seeing big money come in, but even for individual investors, you can invest in a lot of these companies at very low prices because if these guys are right and it is the next $1 trillion industry or whatever it's going to be 5-10 years from now, it's going to give you an opportunity to invest in the Googles, Apples, Amazons, or those next generations of them. Imagine investing in those 20 years ago and where you are today, even with today's sell-off. Holy shit. Instead of having 5 islands, you have 4. Instead of having 10 yachts, you have 3 on the sell-off. Might have to sell a couple. But you get my point. In the internet, you rarely find markets that impact everyone. Everyone. Usually you have these target markets where if it's apparel, it's a target market. Here's my total addressable market. Here's, they're so small. This is the internet where everybody could go to. Imagine owning your own content, having your own ideas. Imagine if you're an entrepreneur. I mean, so many of these people have made a living off of TikTok. Not even TikTok, or you're looking at Facebook. If you look at Instagram, YouTube channels. I mean, they've made money in advertising and built up massive files in 1 second, any one of those companies. Google, Apple with iTunes, any one of them could shut you off and be like, F you, goodbye. And you're done. They own everything. Every picture, your pictures you're putting on there. They're making money off of you. Advertisers are paying for your information, which they're giving them for free. Shouldn't the advertisers be paying you? Doesn't that make sense? To target you? Doesn't that make sense? We need a middleman to do that. That's what Facebook's doing. Hey, we got a great idea. We're going to freaking just take all the information that you're giving us and we're going to give it to these advertisers. So they know exactly where you are, what you're doing. They could sell you all shit. We're going to make a fortune off of it, not you, even though it's your content. Think about it. Think bigger. Because when you think about this concept, this is something that is massive. And I thought it would take a little bit longer to develop. The amount of money it's pouring in, and even the investments that we're doing in this industry are incredible because we found what I believe is to be the best metaverse by far, where Facebook's not really the metaverse, Roblox not really the metaverse. I mean, you could say that, they'll say that the metaverse, Fortnite as well, even Decentraland Sandbox. Those are one-way streets for those guys to make profits. The metaverse is a decentralized, permissionless system where everybody benefits. You own the real estate. You own everything. You could build on it. You could have a job in that economy, build a business. You could venture, hang out, play games, do whatever you want, but it's a whole new world where everybody benefits. So even though you see in the metaverse with these guys, this is more like, how do I pull money? It's the reason why Facebook said they're going to collect 48% from developers. Holy shit. I mean, you're pissed off at Apple and what they're doing with their app, and you're charging, you said you're going to charge 48, you're taking 48%, 47%. The metaverse that we're investing is taking 5%, which incentivize these guys to continue to build and build and build and build. And that's the metaverse. It's an economy. It's something that's going to be on its own. We're going to decide everything. We're going to build it. There's going to be incentive. You're going to be incentivized to build it. It's not going to just be one metaverse. There's going to be few, and the one's going to be like cable company. Ones who have the best content is where people are going to flow to. But that's a new world of the internet, where you control it. You make money off of your own content, where everything you post online, you're not making money off of. You have to share it with somebody. You have to be on a platform or whatever, which is bullshit when you think about it. That wasn't the way the internet was designed for. So the chance of this happening, not happening, are very, very low. I researched this to death. My biggest risk was, wow, we're probably early to the party, which I am to a lot of trends. That's one of the mistakes I make, where I'm early to it, and then, a lot of times they eventually work out and we do very well. But this one, I mean, the amount of money pouring in, it's not just a bunch of people out there and investment firms saying how big and trillions this industry is going to be, which is just, bullshit at the end of the day. Follow the money. Billions are flowing into the metaverse right now, and it's getting bigger and bigger, and it makes sense. All the retailers are getting it. All the major technology companies are getting it, and you're going to see it happen a lot sooner than later. So it pays to start throwing money into this now. That's how I feel about it.